Chukudi, what exactly is your work? 2 years, you have sold phone, you have sold car, you have sold shoes, and now you are selling furniture. What exactly is your work? Now, are you like Chukudi, that you have been selling different kind of things? I understand. I'm sure it's because you are trying to make ends meet. Country hard. That is one of the reasons why in the next 100 days, I'm going to be showing you a better way of doing this thing. How you can find purpose, how you can stay and focus on a business and build it and become a huge name. I'm going to be teaching you how to build a successful business. And even if you decide that you want to go online and you want to diversify, I'm going to be showing you exactly how to do it. And also I'm going to be fixing that mindset of yours that has been taking you pure. Join me on this 100-day journey. It's absolutely free. Titled Mind and Money. I am going to be teaching you skills that will help you transform not just your mind but also your pocket. Click on the link below to get registered. See you there. You know say too much garri dey cause alcohol. And you know say this your garri wey you dey take na because of Satan. Now, let me show you how you can increase your income. Let me show you ways. Like, stop drinking garri every single day. There are other types of food. There's rice, there's beans, there's chicken, there's so many other things. But you cannot afford those things if you rely on only one source of income, which is your salary. In the next 100 days, I'm going to be sharing with you how you can make money both from cryptocurrency, forex, and from owning a business. And that is not just all. I'll be adding a bonus on teaching you life skills, how to get out of depression, how to handle breakup, and how to live a best life. If you are interested in turning finance around, click on the link below. Join me on this transformative journey. It is absolutely free. Stop drinking garri every time. Because I said it's free doesn't mean that the link is going to remain open forever. Get on board. I'll see you then. All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to day 76. Day 76. Okay, so I want to believe you have been gaining value all throughout the program. Right? We are supposed to expect our guests, and while we expect the guests, today's topic is dealing with mistakes and failures. Dealing with mistakes and failures. A lot of times, a lot of people don't understand the whole idea of mistakes. A lot of people don't understand the whole idea of failure. You know, as a matter of fact, one of the things that you need to understand when it comes to life is that failure is not just an event, or I don't know if I would say it's just an event or it's not just an event. Now, what am I trying to say? Okay, so I was watching a video earlier today, and I remembered something that happened to me, a while ago. I think I was in primary 1 or so. No, primary 3 or primary 2, thereabout, something there. And okay, I was coming back from school. I think I carried 12 that time. Primary 1 or primary 2. So I carried 12. And on my way going home, in my wisdom, I felt if I carry this 12, if I reach out, they will beat me. So what do? Let me cancel 2 or cancel 1. So I now cancelled 1 and converted that 1 to converted that 12 to second. Now, you know, what I did not understand was that position is not the cocoa. Because you cannot say you carry 12 when they are seeing, you cannot say you carry second when they are looking at your average is very far from that of the first. Your average, you failed this subject, you are average in this subject, you are average in this subject, and they are seeing highest in class, and somehow you think that you are, you passed. Now, that's exactly how a lot of people look at life. We tend to think that the result is the main thing, not knowing that the main thing is the process of the result. So most times when you get a failed script, you're not going back to check what cost you to fail. Somehow you just want to change the final result. And that's what I've led a lot of people into Yahoo, into a lot of things. right? If you don't consider the process, you are going to have serious issues. All right, so I think we have our guests behind stage, and let's make welcome our guests, ably represented by his powerful assistant. All right, so
Okay, good evening, everyone.
yeah, good evening.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. My name is Temlulu Atesti, and I'll be representing Mr. Nathaniel Luz for a few minutes before he would come and give a full presentation on what we're learning today. That's dealing with mistakes and failures. So I'm just going to be highlighting two major points with dealing with mistakes and failures. The first thing I would want to highlight is that mistakes are are a normal fact of life. Like they happen to everyone, and they happen even to the very best of us. So you should not feel ashamed. You should not feel, should not feel discouraged because you've made certain mistakes in your life, because you've gone through certain situations in your life. You should not feel that way. You should not feel that you need to stop just because you've made certain mistakes. Most of the great inventions that we have today, most of the great men that we've seen today, the reason why they are where they are, the reason why we reckon with them is because they made mistakes, they had failures, but they didn't stop at the point of failing. They didn't stop at the point of having made mistakes. So always pick yourself up. Don't be ashamed. Don't feel, oh yeah, this person knows that I've gone through this. These people know that, yeah. Where is that vision you talked about? Where is that startup you said you were going to build? Where is that business you said, yeah, you're going to make a success of it? It's going to be the next unicorn. Don't be ashamed of that. Don't feel, oh yes, everybody I've told, everybody I have said I'm going to be this, I'm going to be that, is going to like look at me and say, oh, what came out of this? No. Don't be ashamed. Don't feel discouraged. Don't feel down because you've made those mistakes. Don't feel like, yes, I can't continue with with the purpose I have in life. I can't continue with this thing again. And the thing about it is, even when you've made mistakes in a certain aspect of your life, it doesn't mean you can't still do that same thing. And that's a mistake I see a lot of people making. They feel, oh, yeah, I've made a lot of mistakes. This thing I've tried, it has failed so many times. It has failed like countless of times. But the thing is, you can still do that thing. It might not be the same way, because one of the things you should learn from your mistakes is not to repeat the same thing again and again. But it means you don't do it. It might not be the same way you did it before. It might not be the same methods you use, but that doesn't mean you can't achieve that same thing. It doesn't mean you can't achieve that same thing. A lot of people, because they feel, oh yeah, I've done this. Okay, let's say like the person that invented light bulb. He tried thousands of times before he finally got it on the last try. So you have to learn from your mistakes, but that doesn't mean you should now give up on your dreams, give up on your visions, give up on your passions. So learn from your mistakes. Don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed about it. Learn from your mistake. Do those things that you said you will do. Do them. Then, because one of the things I see in most people is that, especially for Africans, we see that they will say, "Oh yeah, I'm going to become this. I'm going to become that," and they give up. The next thing, you find that same person is already doing something else, and you be like, okay, I thought you said this thing was your passion, this thing was what you want to become, this thing is what you want to do. So why have you stopped doing it? Why are you no longer doing that thing you said you want to do? So if you are out there, you said you're going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to be this, continue. Continue to do that thing you said you were going to do. Continue. Like, yes, you're not getting it right yet, you are not getting the results you want yet, but continue to let people know you to be someone that's, oh, if he says he's going to do this thing, if she says she's going to do this thing, she is definitely going to do it. Like, there is nothing that is going to stop her, there's nothing that is going to make her not do it anymore, there's nothing that's going to make her feel I failed so many times. I failed thousands of times. So I'm not going to use. No, don't be that person. Be the person that if they say you're going to do this thing, the next 10 years, let them meet you doing that same thing. Especially when it comes to the passion you have, the visions you have. Don't be one to known to be, oh, if it doesn't work out in the next 2 or 3 years, I'm going to give up on it. Don't be that person. Be the person that be that is known that, oh, this person this person has been in this industry for the past 15 years and she's still doing that same thing. She might be doing it in a different dimension. She might be doing it in a different way. She might be doing it with a different method, but she's still doing that thing. So be known to be someone that would not give up on what they are supposed to do, will not give up on what they have been called to do. Be known to be that person. Be known to be that person. Don't be ashamed of who you are. Don't be ashamed of your abilities. Don't be ashamed of your failures. Don't be ashamed of the mistakes you've made. Be proud of it. In fact, wear your mistakes as a badge. Let people know that yes, oh, I tried this, but I couldn't really get the best of it. Wear it as a badge. That, yeah, let people know that yes, I tried this the first time. I didn't really get the best of it, but now I'm doing it. But I'm doing it better because the roads I have walked, someone that is just new in the industry has not walked it. So I can actually say, yeah, yes, I have experience in this thing. I know how to do it. I can do it better than any other person. So do not be ashamed of your mistakes. Do not be ashamed of your failures. Do not be ashamed of the experience. Because, in fact, see your mistakes, see your failures as experiences. You someone that is coming does not have those years of experience, does not have those like pitfalls of experience, those pitfalls that you've fallen into. Someone that is new might fall into them, but you will not fall into those, you will not make those mistakes again. You're not going to make those you're not going to get like those issues again because you have already made those mistakes. You've already gone through that pathway, you've gone through that walk, so you're not going to be the one making those mistakes again. So please do not be ashamed, do not be afraid to try again, especially when you fall. Then I also want to advise, the second thing I want to advise, and it's for another category of people. Now the first category of people are people that should not be ashamed of their mistakes, should not be ashamed of their failures, should pick up, should use their mistakes, their failures as a stepping stone. And like I said, I'll repeat again, wear it as a badge. Like let people know, yes, I've made these mistakes. I made this failure. Oh, I married the wrong person. Yes, it was a mistake. I married the wrong person, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to love again. It doesn't mean I'm not going to continue. Yes, I started this business, but it didn't work out. Doesn't mean I'm not going to get into business anymore. It doesn't mean I'm not going to be successful in business anymore. It means I'm going to learn from that mistake. I'm going to learn from that failure. And by the time I come back, hey, you're going to know that yes, this is someone who is not new, is not a novice. It's someone who has an experience and has learned from it. I think one of the problem people have with mistakes that they don't pick the lessons. They don't pick the lessons from their mistakes. They don't pick the lessons from their failures, and that's why you see a lot of people making those mistakes again and again and again. You see someone who was in an abusive relationship enter into another abusive relationship. You see someone who had done a business and lost because of the mistakes they made and start another business and start making that same mistakes over and over again. So it's important that you learn from those mistakes, learn from those failures. Do not give up because of them. Do not be ashamed because of them. There's something we say. They say you can't shame the shameless. Be like that. Be the person that you say, oh, whatever you want to say. But I would not be ashamed because I've made some mistakes. I would not be ashamed because I've had certain failures in my life. So be that person. I would also want to say to another category of people to not fail. It can sound like a very like awkward, like, okay, yeah, we are talking about dealing with mistakes and failures, and how would you not tell me not to fail? But there are certain category of people that should not fail. Because if you've had the experience, if you've you've gotten to a certain level, you do not have the liberty to fail arbitrarily as you like anymore. You do not have the liberty to make certain mistakes anymore. There is that category of people. You could not have done like created like 5 startups and you are making the mistakes that a novice should make. You could not have I've been married for 25 years and you're making the mistake that someone that's just got married a year ago is making. No, it shows that you have not been learning in the experience that you've had. It shows that, and the problem with failing at that point in time, the problem with making a mistake at that point in time is that you are setting the wrong example for those that are coming after you. They are setting the wrong example for those that are looking up to you. So there's a certain category of people that they can't make mistakes, just any mistake. They can't be seen to be failing. And those people should actually like, if you're in that category, you should actually like, you see that you are the kind of person that okay, you have gotten to a point that people are already looking up to you, people are already looking up to the things you built, people are already looking up to how far you've come. You can't be seen to be making mistakes, you can't be seen to be failing. Now that doesn't mean that, oh yes, life and chance happens to all, like something that's out of your control can happen to you. No, that's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that anything that is within your control, anything that is within your ability to like to determine, you can't be the one that is now like just doing whatever you like at that point in time. You can't be the one that, oh, okay, yeah, you've been married for 12 years and then you're still the one that is destroying your marriage. No, you can't be the one that you've been you've been in business for years and you're the one that is just blowing your money anyhow. You're not paying attention to the principles of economics. You're not paying attention to the principles of life in business. No, you have to pay close attention to the things that are happening. You have to be there. You have to be sure that yes, you are setting a correct example for those that are coming. You have to ensure that you're setting a correct example that for those that are coming, no matter how. And this principle can also apply to every one of us, no matter what level you're actually at, even if you have not gotten to like that grade level yet, that okay, people are already looking up to me. Even when people are not yet looking up to you, you have to understand that the mistakes and the failures that we make, they have impact not only on us, but the generations that come after us. So you have to ensure that you're not making mistakes that generations after you would have to pay for. You're not failing in a way that generations after you would have to pay for. You're not doing things that is going to impact even your unborn children. Then you see a lot of people feel like, oh, failure is okay and mistakes is okay, and then they're just doing things anyhow. They're just living their life like, oh, if I fail, I'll start again. If I make this mistake, I will do it again. You can't live your life that way. You can't live your life that way. I think it's the error in the message that we've been taught, the error in the teaching that we've been taught that oh, mistakes are okay. Yeah, mistakes are okay. Failing is okay, but not if you are inviting it into your life yourself. It's like a student preparing for an exam and feels, oh, okay, it's okay to fail, yeah, and then decides not to read. Like, it's not right. It's just not done. So you have to know that there is a certain level, there's a certain point with which failing is not okay. Making mistakes are just not okay. Not being like ready for the situations in your life is just not okay. It's like someone that's been told, oh, you're going to have an interview by 10 o'clock, and then the person is waking up by 9:30. Like that is a failure, a mistake that is just not okay to make. It's just not okay to make, because how do you get ready, how do you prepare well for your interview? Or your this person is waking up by 9:58. It is just not okay. So there are mistakes that we need to the millennials, that it is just not okay to make these mistakes. It's not just okay, it's just not okay to have these failures in your life, because they're already my father would say that it is a good man that learns from his mistakes. Yeah, that's a good man. But it's a wise man that learns from the mistakes of others. So you don't have to, there are certain mistakes you don't have to make. If someone has made this mistake, if someone has had this failure, if someone has gone through this path, has walked the path that you are trending, you don't have to make the same mistakes they've made. Make new mistakes. Make mistakes that you couldn't read of anywhere, you couldn't learn of anywhere. Yes, you can make those mistakes, but Mistakes that have already been made by people before you shouldn't be caught making them. Failures that people before you have already had, you shouldn't be the one that's having that like level of failure anymore. So you can make new mistakes, you can fail in new dynamic ways. But if someone has walked the paths that you're planning to walk, if someone has done the things that you're planning to do, then you shouldn't be making their mistakes anymore. You shouldn't be making their mistakes anymore. So that means it's very important for us. It's very important for us to take the things that are pay attention to people that have gone before us in the work. Pay attention to people that have gone before us. If you know someone that's gone, the thing is, there are a lot of wisdom in books that people do not pay attention to these days. There's a lot of distraction from social media, a lot of distraction from trying to live your daily life. But there are a lot of wisdom in books that have been written. There are a lot of wisdom in the words of, like, even from social media, there are a lot of wisdom from the words of people that have walked the path that you want to walk, that we should pay attention to. So pay attention to those things. Pay attention to people that have walked the path that you want to walk. Pay attention to the people that have done the things that you want to do with your life, and try and walk in their shoes. So don't do the things. When I say walk in their shoes, I don't mean, oh, like follow exactly the pattern. Like when you see someone, if someone is walking in front of you and you see the person fall into a pit, you definitely won't fall into that same pit, because then you can see that, oh, there's a pit there. There's a pit there. So obviously you would not fall in that pit. So that's walking in your shoes. Oh, you see that, oh, there's a pit there, and then you avoid it. And then you would, and that's why we see, like, there is no transfer for some generations. There is no transfer because they are not the generation, that the present generation, and certain people in the present generation, I don't want to lump all of us together. Certain people in the present generation are not paying attention to the people that have gone before. So when you pay attention to people that have gone before, you would not walk, you will not make the mistakes and the failures that they've made. You will not make the mistakes and you will not be having to make the mistakes and the failures that they have made. So you're just going to walk a different path, a smoother path. There might still be failures ahead and mistakes ahead for you to make, and that's what the first thing I said was about. There might still be mistakes and failures for you ahead to make, but it will be a smoother path than what you would have normally walked if you were trying to do your own thing from the scratch. So whatever you're doing, whatever you're trying to achieve, don't try to do your own thing from the scratch. There is someone who has done something. There is someone who has learned something. There is someone who has made certain mistakes, who have made certain pitfalls, who can show you the paths to walk, who can show you the paths to avoid, who can show you how to get things done quicker, who can show you how to get things done better. So find that person, whether in your career, whether in marriage, whether it's in business, whether it's in your relationships with people, whether it's whatever you do in life. There is someone who has walked that path. There's someone who has done something. And see, in fact, that's where you see that there is nothing new under the sun. Even if the person has not done exactly what you're doing, the person must have done something similar. So you're able to work with them and find, oh, okay, what did they do? How did they do it? And avoid the things that you should avoid, and pick the lessons that you're supposed to pick. And pick the lesson that you're supposed to pick. And that brings me back to what I first said about picking lessons from our mistakes. So you pick the lesson that you're supposed to pick from that, and then you build on that to start building your own. And then you build on that. And when you build on that and start walking your own path, then you can start being the one to, okay, now teach people that, okay, I have learned from this certain lessons, and now I've made my own mistakes. So these are the lessons you can also learn from the work that I have had. So these are the lessons you can also learn from the mistakes that I have made. These are the lessons you can also extract from the failures I've made. So you don't. So we now begin to see, if we're able to follow this path, if we're able to follow this trend, we begin to see a trend of a generation of better people, because we get better and better as we learn from the lessons and from the mistakes and from the failures of others. We get better and better. So we begin to see a generation of better people. We begin to see a generation of stronger people. You begin to say a generation of people who don't have to fall and fall and fall. Because one thing that happens when you keep making mistakes, when you keep having failures in your life, you have failures in your marriage, you have failures in almost every situation of your life, is because you begin to get weaker, having mistakes, failures, keep puncturing your passions, keep puncturing your life, keep puncturing your careers, keep puncturing the different aspects of your life, is breeding a generation of people that are weaker. It's breeding a generation of people who can't withstand so much. Because you failed so many times, you feel so much, even in the simple things that you feel that you shouldn't have made mistakes, you feel so much in the things that you shouldn't have, like, that shouldn't have gotten to you, the things that shouldn't have hurt you, the things that shouldn't have brought you down. And then you've had mistakes in those aspects, you've had failures in those aspects, you've had to like try to fight through those things, and then you are finding out to actually deal with those situations. So you should actually try to ensure that you don't have too many mistakes, too many failures in your life. You don't have to go through too many pitfalls. You don't have to go through too many how do I which other word do I use? Yeah, mistakes and failures. You don't have to go through so much of those in your life. So please, I like to encourage us to actually try and pay attention to the generation of people that have gone before us. Pay attention to what they've gone through. Pay attention to what they've gone through. Pay attention to how they have written lessons for us, how they have written instructions for us, for the written lessons, written instructions for us, for our lives, written instructions for us to guide our path. And then we have a generation of people that are stronger. And even if, yeah, you've not been doing that, it's a good time to start. It's still a good time to start. It's still a good time to start. Yeah, it would have been better if you had started from the beginning of your life. It might have been better if you haven't have made all the mistakes you've made so far come to this point. But it is still a good time to start. So this is where I think I'm going to stop today. I'm going to say it is still a good time to start. It is still a good time to start. Whatever you might have gone through, whatever mistakes you might have made, whatever failures that might have happened in your life, whatever issues that you might have gone through, whatever how much you have not made the most of everything in your life, no matter how much you have not been the best person that you could possibly be, you can start now to become better. You can start now to be stronger. And like I said, you can start now to be unashamed. Don't be ashamed. Like whatever mistakes you've made, whatever failures you've made, they form an experience. Nobody else, other people who have not gone through those pitfalls cannot talk about it the way you talk about it, cannot explain in details how it will be. Like someone who has never been abused cannot tell a person that's been in an abusive relationship that, oh, this is how it's going to be. No, nobody can say it. So it's a wealth of experience for you, and it's actually built a richness of experience in you. But you can also start now to be stronger by learning from those lessons and ensuring that you are not making them again, you're not repeating your failures again, you're not repeating your mistakes again, you're not falling into those I feel like saying potholes, but that's not, you're not making those pitfalls again and again and again. You are not being that person that um and that had those issues again and again. You understand? Um you're not how do I explain it? You are not doing the same things that led you to the situation you are in. You're not doing them again and again, but you're learning from what you've gone through. You're learning from the experiences you've had. You're learning from everything you've gone through to become a better person, to become a stronger person, to become a person that is unmistakably to become a person that is unmistakably strong, that is unmistakably good at what they are. So thank you so much for listening to me. I believe my boss is here now, so we'll pick up from here. Uh, from where I've stopped. And I hope we are just going to be stronger people who are not making the same mistakes, falling into the same issues over and over again. And we remain unashamed and unafraid of every situation that we face. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You did excellently well. Mr. Nat is here, our guest speaker, the OO1 himself. So let's just give him chance to take it away from there.
Yeah, how many minutes more do I have?
About 15.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Tessie. Thank you. Oh, you've left already. Thank you so much. You've done a great job. I mean, I was just listening to you myself and I was being blessed. And thank you so much, Silas, for having me. And sorry for coming a bit late. That's how Tessie had to fill in. Yes, actually, I plan on starting my session today by saying, who give up, nine lose. Do you understand? Whosoever gives up, now the person shall be nine lose. Do you understand? So it's fine to make mistakes, it's fine to have failures, but they are not actually a way of life, right? So this is a topic that can actually be taken to the extreme, that after all, if we fail, we fail. Whenever I hear people, especially in startup land, say, if you are doing a startup, you're doing a business, if you fail, you fail, I'm surprised. I'm like, why are you picking up things from the US, the UK, from Silicon Valley and bringing them here? Right. So, in as much as we don't want to tilt to that extreme of people living in failure, living in mistakes, just doing things haphazardly with, after all, if I fail, I will learn from it. Experience is the best teacher, which is not correct in the first place. We also have to understand that there comes period in life where everybody has failed, right? Especially if you want to talk to people who have really made it, they've really failed at a lot of things, right? They really made a lot of mistakes. So how do you move on from that point is the most important thing. So I'm going to start and just center around mistakes because Tessie already handled failure a whole lot. So I mean, how do you handle mistakes? How do you move away from yesterday? Right? What destroys a lot of people is not really the mistake per se, it's living in it. It's living in it. That will lead to depression, that will lead to suicidal thoughts, that will lead to every single thing you see there, right? I mean, you've made a mistake, that's fine. We're not trying to say that didn't happen, but you're not the mistake. Even if you were born out of wedlock, like I was born out of wedlock, for heaven's sake, I'm not a mistake. Like, my dad didn't really want to have me. Yeah, he didn't really want to have me, so they tempted me, mistake pregnancy. But that's not correct, right? I mean, standing here today, do I look like someone who's a mistake, right? So actions could have happened that are a mistake, but how do you build your life away from that point? It's just what I want to focus on today. So number one, understand, don't deny it, no denial. No, oh, it didn't happen. No, it doesn't have the effect. If you're in pain, admit you're in pain. If you're hurt, admit you're hurt. If you've made a mistake, admit you've made a mistake. There's no point denying it. You cannot fix, you cannot move away, you cannot move on from something that you've not accepted. But then number two, make up your mind to move away. Do you understand? Just I make up my mind that this has happened, but this is not going to define my life. So I just feel like I'm speaking to someone who is having like a pregnancy or a child outside wedlock right now. Make up your mind. Like I just feel I'm speaking like to you right now directly. So I want you to make up your mind that that experience of that pregnancy is not going to define your life. That experience of that one mistake is not going to define your life. You have to make up your mind. Thirdly, you have to forgive yourself. Do you understand? We usually talk about forgiving others, loving others, but we seldomly talk about forgiving ourselves, right? Just moving on. Yeah, I know I messed up. Yes, I know I made a mistake. Yes, I know I did the things I shouldn't have done, right? But please, Silas, can you confirm that people can hear me clearly? You could just drop a chat, or you could just speak up that I'm very audible, that I'm not too fast. No, you said I had to, 15 minutes, I had to go away. I've used only for 11 to go, So I want you to make up your mind, right? Thank you so much, Silas. So you're gonna move on and you're gonna forgive yourself. You're gonna forgive yourself. Of yesterday, you're gonna forgive yourself, and you're gonna forgive those who also look like they contributed to your downfall. Do you understand? I mean, my most favorite story in the Bible, when we get to heaven, several years down from now, the first person I want to see is Joseph. Because for heaven's sake, it's not enough that his brothers had sold him into slavery, right? A lot of times we say, why did he tell them his dream? Did he make a mistake? I don't know. Maybe yes, maybe no. I don't know. But what we know is that it was not enough that they sold him into slavery. In fact, it was not enough that Potiphar's wife had lied against him and said, this guy wanted to rape me. That was a false rape accusation. And that guy was thrown to the prison. My first wonder was that this guy was still interpreting dreams in the prison. I mean, if it's just somebody of us would have given up, say he's no more doing. I mean, he would have just looked at his life and say, "Well, life is not fair. That's it. What will be will be. Q Sarah Sarah, which is not correct. again, So how do you keep up yourself? How do you keep being you despite challenges? How do you keep being you despite past failures? How do you keep being you? How do you not lose yourself to the experience? What we witness a lot of times is that people lose themselves in the experience, and they come up and they come out of trials an entirely different person than who they were supposed to be. Like they lose themselves entirely. That it's like this person was like born again, but in a negative way. So it's not just the things that have happened. Do you understand? It's how you allow them define you. It's how you allow them make an impact, make a dent in your life. It's how you've allowed them begin to now affect the choices that you make going forward. Do you understand? So it's fine. I'm not trying to downplay the hurt you've been through, right? I'm not trying to downplay the fires you've been through. But I want to say it's one thing to pass through a fire, it's another thing to live in the fire. You understand? So it wants to say, hey, Nat, I'm passing through fire. Fine, if you're passing through fire, pass through. I've been passing through fire. I think I'm still passing through some. you know, pass through the fire. Don't camp in the fire. Right? So I know you've heard a lot of people say, oh, Nigeria is Nigeria because what Europe did to Africa, what the colonizers did. For heaven's sake, even the US was colonized. India were also colonized. Do you understand? Why are we shouting colonialism like we are the only ones? We built a mindset around it that not made us so because of that, we've not been able to move forward. We've not been able to make progress as a nation. Rwanda has the Rwanda and genocide in '94 and all that. Those things were a huge trying moment for Rwanda. In fact, right now the country of Rwanda is marking like a remembrance, and how they're looking forward at past, how they're looking forward at everything that happened, and say, you know what, we're going to use this as an avenue to drive unity. We're going to use this as an avenue to drive brotherhood, to drive love, to drive kindness. So it's fine that genocide happened. We're not proud of it. We're not happy about it. People lost their lives. I mean, hundreds of thousands of people lost their lives during the whole Rwanda genocide and all of that. But it's one thing to say that what do we want to say about this? What stories do we want to tell? How do we want to move on from this? How do we want to make the best use of this? Do you understand? How do we want to ensure that this fire doesn't break us, that it brings the best out of us? So again, I feel I'm speaking prophetically to people who have missed it. Like, that you actually did yourself. That kind of thing they say that now you did it yourself. So right now I'm speaking to people who you've made mistakes. You know it yourself that whatever you pass into, like you cost at least 80% of it. It's time to move on. It's time to move on. It's time to move on. I want you to make up your mind today that you're not going to use that again as a reference phrase. And most times when we even say, okay, I'm going to complete that. I want you to make up your mind that you're not going to use that as a reference point again. If the thoughts come, don't think it. If you're tempted to make a comment and say, I remember those days, stop it there. You remember those days when God was good to all of us. Do you understand? And when we say move on, you might also need to be moving on from the success of yesterday, because the success of yesterday could also be something you need to move away from. So we'll talk about mistakes and failure. It's not just negative things. At times you might need to move on from yesterday's success to face the realities of today. Do you understand? That's an entirely different topic. Silas, I don't know if you want me to take a question or two. I feel so strong that I need to take two questions in this meeting. So I'm going to welcome you back. I want to take just two questions, answer them, and yeah, that'll be it. Silas, do we have questions? Mike Jack, Silas, can you confirm if you can hear me? Okay, I'm just going to go on to keep speaking to the audience while you can confirm. Maybe type out the question. You can just come live and tell us the questions. Right. So it's time to move on. If there's one thing that you're going to take out from this place, okay, we have Silas live in the show. Yeah, the floor is
Okay,
yours.
so while we are waiting for nobody has dropped any question yet, but while we are waiting, just go ahead, sir.
Awesome. So if there's one thing you got to take away from this show today, that today you're going to move on. Today you're going to allow yesterday being yesterday. Today you're going to move on. If you look at the journey of nations and the journey of countries have been through a whole lot. But the countries that decided to keep saying what one political party did 16 years ago, what somebody did 30 years ago, I mean, it's time you just got to move on. I saw a joke that says that once you clock 30 years of age, you can no more point accusing fingers to your foundation, that you are now the foundation. I mean, as laughable as that seems, but there has to come to a time where you got to say, you know what, from today I become responsible. So I don't care what Nathaniel has been through, I don't care what my parents have been through, I don't care how my upbringing went, because at some point in our lives, we just couldn't be in charge of ourselves, right? I mean, so a lot of the things we experienced early on could not had nothing to do with decisions we could have made or did not make. So again, I'm speaking to people who are abused as children. I'm speaking to people who are abused at the age of 5 at very young ages. And I mean, I'm just speaking right now to sexual abuse right now. I mean, there was nothing you could have done differently, right? So it's not your fault. I mean, these are mistakes that you didn't even cause anything, but you've got to move on. That's what I'm saying to you right now. You've got to move on. You can't allow those mistakes or that mistake or that thing that happened that seems like failure and it seems like you can't allow that define your entire life, right? There's a time in life whereby you're not really responsible for what people do and your upbringing and everything. But there has to come a time where you have to take full, complete, total responsibility and say, see, from today, I'm going to be responsible for my life. From today, hold me responsible for whatever comes out of my life. I don't care how my foundation looked. I don't care how my background looked. I don't care how yesterday looked. What I'm saying is that hold me responsible for what happens tomorrow to me. So I want to help you come to this point where you take this decision and say, yesterday is gone, it's gone forever. And God, today I'm going to make a fresh start in my life. I'm going to make a fresh start to be responsible for whatever I pass through. It doesn't matter the mess you're in right now. It doesn't even matter if you looks like you're in debt right now, or you just made some investment mistakes and I'm speaking to people that who've made financial mistakes, and you're like, look at me 3 years ago, look at me now. I mean, who could have believed, that it looks like it was from grace to grass when people are doing grass to grace? That actually doesn't matter. What I'm saying is, can you put your life together today? Can you put your life together today? Today is a fresh start. Every day represents a fresh opportunity for you to start again. Start again. And as you start again, I want to say there are people who are going to make attempts to draw you back to yesterday. You have to cut out from them, right? You have to rebuild your life. Now, in this period of rebuilding your life, anybody who is not there with their shoe, with their hoe, with their shovels to help you in rebuilding, just let them be. You don't have a business with all of the negativity that's flying around town. You don't have a business with watching the news every day. For heaven's sake, you're not a journalist. Neither are you training to become one. You don't have a business with all of that. You don't have a business with, most times, we don't have a business with exposing our minds to all the things we expose it to, right? Just get busy with building your life. Just get busy with moving on. Just get busy. So today you need to make your mind. And listen, see, this entire 100 days Silas is doing. I mean, a lot of you have been learning a whole lot of things. By the way, I want to celebrate you, Silas. This is a lot of consistency. Day 76, 2 months plus. Day 76, 2.5 months. A lot of consistency. I want to celebrate you. But I want to speak to you, the viewers, that it's not just enough to pass through this 100-day baptism process. It's about the impact this leaves on you. Right now, it's easy for you to feel a lot of fire while I'm speaking. I know right now you get to feel a lot of fire. It's normal when I speak. So glory to God, you get to feel a lot of fire. But you now have to make practical steps. What am I going to do differently? What steps am I going to take daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, annually? That's going to make a difference, right? So everything I'm saying right now, everything Tessie had said, everything all the speakers had said, everything Silas has been teaching you, can you break these things into steps? What am I going to do differently? What am I going to do differently? Yes, I made mistakes yesterday. What are the lessons I'm going to pull out? What am I going to do differently? I'm not saying go back and start living in regret. Just what am I going to do differently? Because every new day, tomorrow morning presents brand new opportunity for you, brand new opportunities for you. In the next 4 hours and 15 minutes, we're going to be in a new day, new opportunities. Let's say 4 hours, 15 minutes. Yeah, I think I was right. Yeah, the next 4 hours, 15 minutes. It's going to be a new day, new opportunities for you. So, what do you want to do differently? Right? As I begin to round up, I just want to challenge you. What do you want to do differently? Now, we've established that you're not a mistake, you're not a failures. What are you going to do differently? I mean, Tessie said something about you being able to come up with a message out of whatever mess you've been in, right? How you can now even become a light in that. But to even get there, you first of all have to heal up and get out of that. You have to heal up, you have to get out of that. You have to begin to do these things differently for you to be able to draw other people out of it. Right. So we live in a world, we live in an environment, and we live in a society with a whole lot of challenges, left, right, center. But this society also, where we have an abundance of problems, We should see an abundance of entrepreneurship. We should see an abundance of intellect. We should see an abundance of new businesses, new ideas, new startups. In the same way, where we see a lot of pain, where we see a lot of hurt, we should see messages coming out of there. We should see movement. I'm careful with the word movement, we should see movement in quotes coming out of there. But you have to make up your mind. For you to help others, you first have to heal up. Do you understand? A blind man cannot lead a blind man, right? You first have to heal up. So I'm just checking the time. It's 15 seconds more. So I want to say thank you so much for having me here. Mr. Silas, if there's something you want me to address, question you have for me, I could take it right now.
Mr. Nat, thank you so much. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. If it was something that only you spoke, I mean, I'm sure there would have been some questions because you made sure that no stone was left unturned. Tessie did a very good job, and you've come and put an icing on the cake. So we don't have any questions so far. We've asked everybody on the group, and your message went straight home. And one of the things that actually gave me so much joy is the fact that, okay, so this session is Millennial Wisdom. So we're actually talking to young people. And somehow you have been able to direct, you hit almost everything, the nail on the head at everything that actually bothers this set of people. So, I mean, there's really nothing to be added to this. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And, you were speaking from another realm. So I'm sure it's not something anybody should be asking any questions about. All right, so thank you very much, Mr. Nat. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to share the screen with you.
Thank
All
you
right,
so
so
much.
thank you very much. Let me allow you go so I can round
Yes.
up.
Okay,
Thank you
bye.
very much. God bless you. Yeah, bye. All right, so I want to believe you gain value. I mean, I don't know. These days we are having 2 speakers per day. It's awesome, right? It's awesome, and we are leaving no stone unturned, actually, right? So thank you very much. I want to believe you learned a lot of things from that. It's okay to make mistakes, but don't live with the mistakes. But it's also okay not to actually want to make those mistakes, right? It's also okay not to want to make those mistakes. Tessie said when she had the time to speak, she said that if I fail, I fail. Then you don't read. That is not a wise mistake. That is you just being completely stupid, right? But there are certain things that you shouldn't be doing. And one thing I'm taking home that Tessie said her dad would always say that it's a good man that learns from his mistake, but a wise man learns from the mistake of others. And I'll leave you with that word. Please take all of these things and run with it. Run with it. These mistakes and failures are one of the reasons why the reason you have not moved on is also one of the reasons why you have not actually made it. Right? If you can go back in your finances, what are the financial mistakes you've made? In your relationship, what are the mistakes you've made? In your business, in your academics, what are the mistakes you've made? So go back and look at those mistakes and heal. Then make up your mind not to be defined by your mistakes, right? Powerful session, powerful session. Thank you everyone for being on board. God bless you. All right, so today is the day 76, 24 days to go. We started this thing like play, and we are 76 days gone. 76 days gone. Wow. 24 days to go. It's going to be a marathon. It's going to be a marathon. And by the way, I didn't forget the people that I promised a gift. Their gift will be announced at the end of this program. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you for having me. Thank you for giving me your time and your ears. God bless you. Tomorrow, we are going to be looking at life coaching series. And the topic, tomorrow is a very powerful day. I think I'll be having my mentor speak tomorrow. My mentor will be live tomorrow. It's going to be amazing. This one, I'm not telling you my colleague, but I'm telling you my mentor. He's on another level. Right? I just pray and hope that he will be chanced enough to make it here. It is going to be the bomb. Trust me. Trust me. All right. So tomorrow's topic is the impact of your cycle. The impact of your inner cycle. The impact of your inner cycle is going to be mind-blowing. I can tell you for free. right? Because the person speaking, oh, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. If you think you have had any wisdom from me, wait until you hear from him. You know, he's that person that I'm not worthy to untie his shoe. Exactly. All right, so until tomorrow, thank you very much for making it a date with me. God bless you.